This is an article from my Clarity Substack, Clarity with Michael Oren. If you want to stay up to date with thoughtful insights, historical context, and a touch of honest reflection, then please consider subscribing. Thank you for listening. Jaccuse. Throughout the day, Monday, June 2nd, CNN ran the headline, "Dozens shot dead and injured near Gaza aid hub, health ministry, and doctors say." The story opened by accusing Israel of committing the massacres, citing Palestinian sources and eyewitnesses. Dirty. Only later, almost as an afterthought, did it mention that Israel denied its troops had fired anywhere near the site. The article remained online and unedited, even after the IDF released videos showing Hamas terrorists gunning down Palestinian civilians waiting in line for food aid. The New York Times report was even more damning. Israeli soldiers open fire near Gaza aid site. Gaza officials say 27 are killed. That was the claim. Witnesses reported Israeli soldiers fired on people trying to collect aid, and Israel denied it. Again, there was no correction, even after the IDF posted the incriminating videos. I asked the most senior and knowledgeable sources in the IDF whether there was any truth to the media's claims. The answer was unequivocal: no. Israeli troops never once opened fire on Palestinians seeking aid. The media's message is simple, that Jews are an inherently bloodthirsty people who enjoy slaughtering innocent civilians. CNN and The Times routinely quote the Gaza health authorities, though neither can identify who, outside of Hamas, those authorities might be. They repeat the statistic that Israel has killed 54,000 Palestinians without noting the 22,000 terrorists killed by Israel, the 8,000 Palestinians who've died of natural causes, or the thousands killed by short-falling Hamas rockets or by Hamas executioners. Even if that 54,000 figure were accurate, and serious studies show it is grossly distorted, deducting all those other numbers yields the lowest civilian-to-combatant fatality rate in modern military history. Of course, every civilian death is a tragedy, but neither CNN nor the New York Times consider collateral damage an inevitable byproduct of war, especially one in which terrorists wear civilian clothes, employ child soldiers, and hide behind civilians in hospitals, mosques, schools, and tunnels. Instead of a tragic byproduct, collateral damage is portrayed as the goal of Israel's war. When it comes to Israel, the mainstream media is not in the business of reporting reality. Their business, rather, is blood libel. How macabre it was, then, to watch CNN's coverage of the firebomb attack against mostly elderly Jews in Boulder, Colorado, by a deranged anti-Semite shouting, "End Zionists." The coverage overflowed with sympathy for the victims, indignation, and outrage. It was the second violent attack against American Jews on U.S. soil in less than 2 weeks. Such acts of blatant hatred simply must stop, the newsroom declared. Not once, not even obliquely, did the reporters pause to consider what role they and other so-called neutral journalists play in creating this atmosphere of Jew hatred. After all, if audiences are told hour after hour that Jews are butchering women and children, why wouldn't some of those viewers seek justice by shooting or burning some of those wicked Jews? Why wouldn't Cody Balmer believe that by burning Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro and his family alive, he could get Israel to stop killing my friends? Why wouldn't Elias Rodriguez, the murderer of Sarah Milgram and Yaron Lashinsky, or Boulder's would-be assassin Mohammed Sabri Solomon, believe that it's open season on Jews? Of course, not all the blame can be placed on CNN or the New York Times, but neither can they remain guiltless. When was the last time either of them held Hamas, rather than Israel, primarily responsible for Gaza's suffering? When, if ever, did the mainstream media seriously consider the ramifications of a Hamas victory, of reasserting its rule over Gaza, plotting the next October 7th, and emboldening jihadists throughout the West? One can only conclude that the media's need to portray the Jews as coveters of innocent blood overrides their commitment to even the most basic journalistic norms. Their determination to demonize Israel while lionizing the Palestinians takes precedence over their responsibility to make the United States safe for the American Jews marching for the hostages' freedom. This has been another article from Clarity. If you found value in these words, if they made you think or feel, then please consider subscribing.